So I'd like to dig a little deeper into that. You talked about making mock scrapes. Describe that process to me.
Oh, it's a pretty easy process, really. I'm kind of cheap and lazy, but go cut pin oak branches. You know, some guys are cutting pin oak branches for their duck blinds.
Right.
I'm cutting pin oak and stuffing it in my trunk of my car, and I take zip ties and I'll take existing branches and I'll zip tie those, make mock scrapes, and they'll take them over, and I've killed deer over them. I know the deer like pin oak, and I know if you cut that branch, the pin oak leaves, they won't fall off.
That's why they're great for duck hunting.
That's why they're great for duck hunting, exactly. So I concentrate on pin oaks and some of the white pine branches. They're a little harder to find, but I can find pin oak all day. And I'll just go and I'll cut them, and I don't know, just about any branch that overhangs off of a field edge, it's just a magnet for them, and they'll hit it, and you know, just buy a bag of zip ties, which is so cheap, and I just put 2 on there, and I'll take my machete out of my little trusty pack, and I'll just rough up the ground and get that fresh dirt smell. And back in the day, I'd pour a little mock scrape stuff, but more times than not, I don't even have to do that. It's just a drug to them, and they'll just come and they'll take it over and they'll do it. Some guys even they'll pee in their own scrapes. I don't. That's just how I am. I don't use scents a whole lot. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of scent in there, but they just take them over. They must look so good. I'll find some white pine sometimes. That'll work too for good mock scrapes, and yeah, it works for me.
All right. And so you're just fashioning a branch, it just hangs out. How high are you trying to make it?
Actually, you know, I always visualize a deer and like above its antlers, you know, the better. I've got pictures and all kinds of stuff, but I think the higher the better. You know, rack high, they get their nose up in there and they thrash their antlers in there, and then they get into it, and then they'll just start raking dirt backwards, and once you get one doing that, it's off to the races from there. Every buck that runs that line is going to hit it.
Right.
Most of them are nocturnal, but sometimes you get a day walker.
Yeah. So is there a particular time of year you start making these scrapes, or can you start at the start of the season?
I think they scrape and they hit stuff a lot of times during the year. I've seen them in the springtime. I've seen them when I'm shed hunting. I've seen them in the summer. But right now, when you start getting October, and when they start shedding their velvet in September as well, but then it seemed like it got lax because I think the ground was like concrete earlier.
It's terrible dry this year.
So yeah, but now they're starting to hit up. They're starting to ramp up a little bit. A little sparring right now. You'll see crazy activity about the 20th. So I start taking vacation getting towards the end of October.
Yep. This is debated left and right. I mean, almost to knockdown dragouts. When is the peak time to bow hunt?
The peak time to bow hunt. Well, everybody wants to be around that November 7th. And it can be good, but it's hit or miss because a lot of them are already on does. I have great reactions about October 28th to November 3rd.
Yeah.
Because they don't think a lot of the does are ready, but the bucks are, and things are starting to ramp up. And I've killed some dandies on the 28th of October.
So basically, peak rut, you're saying, is about November 7th, trying to be a week or so in front of that?
I would.
Yeah.
I would, because if you've sat in a tree and you've seen a buck that's behind a doe during that time, good luck.
Right.
It takes an act of God for him to leave her. But before that, he's vulnerable and he's looking and he's searching, and if you know how to call and do things properly and read body language properly, you can probably bag a buck if you're hunting smart.
Yeah.
After that, I get frustrated because I'll call, I won't have any luck, nothing, and then later, like the 14th, 13th, 14th, they start coming out of it a little bit. I think. I shot my deer last year on November 14th.
You have a preference of time of day when to hunt?
I hunt every chance I can, and it's a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I like evenings more than, to answer your question, I love evenings more than I do mornings. I like to do a 2 to 2.5 hour sit from what last shooting light is, and 2 to 2.5 hours before that, as far as favorite times to hunt and stuff like that. And I always tell them, I was like, it's just like going to the theater and watching a movie. You're gonna spend 2.5 hours of your life watching a movie,
right,
except for you're in God's great creation instead.
Yeah.
So I don't hunt early season or mornings early season. I just don't do it. Season's long enough as it is. You ask my wife. But when it's the November 2nd through the 10th, 12th, I'm in a tree from sunup to sundown every day. Unless somebody calls and I get a tip and I'll go somewhere. But no, I just park it. I take my water bottle, I take my book, my PJ, and I'm there for the day. I hunt hard. I hunt a lot. When I work third shift, I hunt every night.
Yeah.
It was raining 2 nights ago. I was in the stand. I was in the stand last night. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to be in the stand tonight.
So if somebody didn't have the vacation time to burn up and they, only had, could only be weekend warriors, what would you suggest to maximize your efficiency in the stand?
Watch the weather more than anything. If it's hot, you don't want to take vacation. But if you have to pick something, I really like that 1st to the 7th time period. This is probably going to be the first year I ever have to miss November 7th. That's like my favorite day. So I've never really killed too many deer on the 7th, but it always seems like just being in the woods on that day is magical. I mean, you see action and the deer are usually on their feet. I don't know.
All right. So what are you looking for in a weather break or in the what weather change or what about the weather makes you know I've got to be out there?
Frosty mornings, cold. I'll go out on my porch and in my shorts, and I'll stand there and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is a good one. Okay, I better get dressed. So yeah, you just know when it hits your face, you can feel it. Like this is a deer day.
Yeah.
And you start texting her, you ain't going to stand? I'm in. All right.
Yeah.